let's go and have a little look at a couple of basic scalping type strategies. This is the kind of thing that I learned really early on. Not overly technical. This is just a trade where you are watching what happens on the ladder and using that to get yourself in and out of trades. And that was, yeah, this is something that essentially was my game when I started. It was spotting these little patterns, making a bit of money out of them and moving on, and another one and another one. And because you're sort of trading very small patterns, you can actually leverage these up quite nicely. And I'll try and illustrate that in just a moment. So what we're looking at here is basically an absorption pattern, but with an addition of some flipping. So this is a trade in the bund. We're looking up at this area up here, which is a very similar thing to what you'd seen the previous day. What we're going to get then is, I'll play this a little bit. I won't necessarily play the entirety of it, but the key moment that you just saw there, if I flick this back very quickly, as the market trades up, you've got a large order. So eyes are going to be on this large order. You're thinking, yep, maybe there's a trade here. But watch what happens. As the market trades up, you then get large bid appears. As soon as the large bid appears, market trades into the large order. Now, watch the last traded quantity. That jumps. So trades up 350, another 400 trades at this price. You now traded 800. Because you've seen that, you've now got a good indication that basically somebody's trying to sell here. So you can join them. And as a simple scalp trade, all you're looking for is a small rotation back down. So having seen it jump from around about 70, that becomes the target on the little rotation down. But what you're also trying to do is maximize this. This is what I mean by participation edge. You're not sitting there going, okay, I've done that once. I just sold 3 lots at 75. I'm going to get out of the trade and I'll be happy with that. Instead, what you're looking to try and do is take this trade over and over and over. So now what you're doing is you're lining orders up, building orders up so that you've got more chance to get out of a long, which instead you played as just a rotation back down to that area. But now look, more large orders coming in. What they're doing is they're getting people to buy. This is what you call a spoof trade. It's not legal, but you can see what somebody else is doing. Selling it yourself, entirely legal. So what you're doing is you're making the most of somebody who's doing something illegal. They go and do that. You spot it. You can sell, get yourself short, and you take the 4 or 5 ticks out of this. And it's doing that over and over and over. It may only seem very small, but if you can do this with a 3 lot, you can increase the size up. And then you can keep on taking these little bits out of the trade. And whilst it doesn't seem very much, this is adding up rapidly. And notice also, you're not really running offside. So whilst somebody might think, oh, that's going to be a lot of round trips. Yeah, it will. But every time you take the trade, let's say you pay a round trip of, this is in the bund, €1 for a round trip, you're taking €40 profit out of that. So the round trips make absolutely no difference to it. And this is one where just spotting these little absorption patterns, this isn't going to be a skill that you can really say, yeah, that's all that I do. But by understanding what happens here, by understanding those little patterns of order flow, you've now much more equipped to be able to spot when you can increase size, when you can actually start to get into more trades like this. When you next see somebody selling, you can get into a trade by joining that selling, by recognizing where the selling's going on. Someone's now sold 1,500 contracts extra since we just started this, and that's only in 3 minutes. And that's the way that you're approaching scalping to start with. It's learning these little things, learning these little tricks within the market that you see. That gives you the ability to then start to build up performance. This ultimately is the way that I sort of grew as a trader in the early stages. It was just by building up these little trades, spotting a few little things, making a bit of money. That then allowed me to branch out and look for new trade ideas. This gives you that consistency. This gives you that smoothness that you're after. But that's all it is here. This is just taking advantage of something that you're spotting on the ladder. It's a little bit niche bit of action. Where would I put the stop? Stop on that trade, 77, 78. It's a very small stop. Because once it goes through the large order, once this person stops selling, that trade's not on anymore. And that's all that I would be considering on this. Essentially, if it comes back up here and this isn't a large order anymore, I'm not in that trade. I'd get out for a scratch, a one tick winner. I wouldn't stay in the trade because the reason you're in the trade is to do with what you're seeing on the ladder, not so much a technical, this is where my stop is type scenario. So that's your first situation. But like I say, that only gives you so much. That just enhances your skill set.